Good morning. How are you today? I am taking this time, Oliver and Kenley. I'm going to do this video for the both of you. As a matter of fact, it's really for your whole family. Okay? I'm going to still give you an assignment this week. You're not off the hook. You're still going to have to do some writing for me, but I'm going to put your assignment inside of the email that I'm going to send to you because it's really important to me to come out here today and talk to you about this amazing week that I have had with the check presentation and the kindness squad and all of the incredible things that have happened because of that. So I wanted to come and talk to you about how that went, okay? So it was Wednesday. Okay, it was Wednesday, remember? And we were going into chapel, so all of my 4th grade was there, all of the kindness squad. And 5th grade was there too. Now, it's important for you to know that 5th grade is not the kindness squad, not yet, but they were really touched. They were really moved by what happened in there. So I really believe that 5th grade is going to join us in the kindness squad very, very soon. So they were all there. Okay, and then all of my bosses were there. My principal, the assistant principal, a lot of teachers came to support me. Pastor Riley, a lot of the church members were there as well, which was really, really cool. So when I looked out into the audience, I just saw my students and all of my friends were there, and it was just super awesome. Okay, and then I met Mr. Messer and Mr. Judd, and they are the bosses of the Women and Children's Shelter. So I went up to them and I said hello. After all this time, I finally got to meet them. And they are very, very nice. And they were super excited. And they talked to me for just a few minutes. And then they sat with my students, which was really cool. Okay. Then we opened in prayer and sang a couple of songs, which was great. And then it was time for me to get up and talk. And you won't believe this, but I was really, really nervous. And I had a microphone. And when I was holding the microphone, my hand, it wouldn't stop shaking because I was so very nervous. And I don't know why, but I just was. So even though I was nervous, as I looked out into the crowd, I began to calm down and tell the incredible story of how my little 4th graders in my little city of Jacksonville formed the kindness squad that is now known all around the world. Okay, and that was such an incredible story. And I said, if I wasn't here telling you and these boys and girls weren't here confirming that, it would be very hard to believe because it's that amazing that my boys and girls just really wanted to serve and help other people. Out of that, the kindness squad was born, and that was the whole reason we were there. So they loved the story. They loved the story. And when I was finished talking, it was time for them to get up. And I had that huge, gigantic check. Remember that you saw? I had that huge check, okay? And I was ready to give it to them, and they took it, and they loved it, and it was a really, really cool moment. But the best part came after I gave them the check. They looked at my boys and girls, they looked at the kindness squad, and they started to talk about how it's going to help the women and children at the shelter. And first of all, they were so very grateful. They were so grateful, and they were so proud of my students. And I think that's what I wanted the most of all, Oliver and Kenley. I wanted my boys and girls, I wanted my students to be recognized for their hard work. I wanted them to know without a doubt that they were making a giant difference in the lives of others. And that's exactly what those men did. They looked at my boys and girls and they thanked them, and my students were just filled with joy. But then they told us something too. They said that day on Wednesday, there was 26 children at the shelter that were homeless, that didn't have anywhere to go. And I didn't know that that number was so high. And my boys and girls didn't either. And they went, oh. But then Mr. Messer and Mr. Judd reassured them that it was okay. And they told us some of the great things that are happening at the shelter. They said that the money that was donated is helping to give them food and clothing It's also helping to send them to school every day. Every morning, those 26 children at the shelter, they wake up and they shower and they have breakfast, and then they get on a school bus and they travel to school. And they do lessons all day. They do reading and writing and spelling and math. And then they come home on a bus every day. So it pays for their transportation as well as for their school supplies. And it also pays for after-school activities for those boys and girls that are at the shelter, which is wonderful. Now, we also learned some cool things too that our money is helping. Okay, the moms that are at the shelter, and they're ladies just like me. Okay, they're ladies just like me that are just trying to do the best they can. But I have a home, and they don't. So what some of that money is doing is it's helping those moms. They go to classes during the day too. Okay, there's classes that they can go to help them to learn how to balance a checkbook, or how to cook, or how to get a job. There's a job program too. So some of those ladies will wake up in the morning and they'll take a shower and they will go out into the community and work. They have jobs. And the bus will bring them back home in the evening. So they are able to earn a paycheck that will help them to have a house of their own one day, which is super awesome. And then we also found out that they have classes, they go to chapel just like we were at in the morning, and every evening they go to chapel. So they're busy all day long at the mission, either going to school or going to classes, and they're learning all kinds of cool things. So we thought that was really, really cool, and we learned a lot of things that we didn't even know happen at the shelter every single day. So we started to feel better knowing that the money was already being used to help those children and those moms. Now, an even better part, if you can believe it, happened after that. When we were all done, Pastor Riley came up and I was ready to go sit down because I wanted to go sit down for a moment. And he said, "No, Mrs. Walker, you have to stay right here." And I said, "Well, okay." And then he said, "We have a surprise for you." And I go, "Okay." And he said that they had heard at the school all of the wonderful things that the Kindness Squad was doing. And they had heard about that incredible donation from your family. And they had gotten together and decided that they were going to match that donation. So they had another check for $400 that matched, that was the same as the donation that you gave, that they also presented to Mr. Messer and to Mr. Judd. So that day, the mission received $800. $800. And when I heard that, you know, Mrs. Walker started to cry. I couldn't help it. I was so excited. I was so moved. I was so touched. It was so unexpected. I just couldn't help myself. Right there in front of all of those people, tears of joy were just flowing down my face. And they watched, everybody watched, and it was okay, because that's just my heart showing. Okay, when people are crying and very emotional, that's just your heart showing. So my heart was totally showing that day. It was totally on display, but it was a wonderful, wonderful surprise. And then when it was all finished, then we all grouped together to get those really, really cool photos that we were able to send to you. Now, I did tell Mr. Messer and Mr. Judd, I said, we're still in the middle of coronavirus. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of cases right here in Jacksonville. Now, I don't want you to worry when I say that. I'm okay, and my family's okay, and we wear our masks every day, and we're staying at home. We're doing all of the things that we should, but there's a lot of cases in my city right now. So we cannot travel anywhere. We really want to go down to the mission, okay? And I want to meet those boys and girls. You know I do. You know I love children, and I want to meet them and say hello to them and say, hello, I'm Mrs. Walker, okay? And I'm with the Kindness Squad, and we're part of the group that helped you, okay? I really want to do that. But until the numbers of the virus go down in my city, we're not allowed to get on the buses and go down there right now. Okay, we want to stay safe, and we want those boys and girls at the mission, we want them to stay safe also. Okay, so we're hoping that in the springtime, the numbers will have gone down enough for us to be able to travel down there. And as soon as they do, and I'm hoping that it's before the springtime, we're going to take a field trip and we're going to get on those buses and we're going to go spend some time with those children and with their moms. Okay? And I'm already planning some activities. We're going to do some crafts and we're going to read to them, and it's going to be super cool. And as soon as I do, you know that I will take pictures and videos, because I want you and your family to see them too. I want you to see the people that we are helping. Okay? Now, I also want you to know, well, I've got you right here and I'm just talking away, but you can tell it's just my heart. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm already working with your family on our next project, okay? And it's going to be a literacy event. It's going to be a reading event. Because, you know, I'm a teacher and I love reading and I love writing. That's how I met you guys, is through writing, through Boom Writer. So I'm already planning our next event. And it's going to be a big one. But again, I've got to wait a little bit until the virus is a little bit more controlled. Okay, so I'm hoping February or March, and we will have another big event. But I just want you to know that this is one of the best weeks of my entire life. And it was made possible through a combined effort of myself and my students here in Jacksonville, and you and your family over there in Spain. So I'm super happy. I'm super happy. And this is only the beginning, Oliver and Kenley. This is only the beginning of what is sure to be many, many incredible things and many, many incredible ways that we can help boys and girls all over the world. So I am all done talking now. I'm going to put this inside of an email that is still going to have a writing assignment for you. But I just wanted to tell you how incredible this week was for me. And I can't do that in words. I wanted you to see me tell the story. All right? So you guys have a great day and a great week. You still have to write for me. And I'll be talking to you soon, okay? I love you, and I love your family, and I love everything that we're doing together to help people. All right? I'll be talking to you guys soon. Bye.